So this person I met in the school playground, she seemed to gravitate towards me and start chatting to me. So we sort of struck up a conversation which turned into a friendship. She was friendly, but possibly a bit over-friendly, oversharing, if you like, her own personal life quite quickly. And I don't know whether it was to make me feel sorry for her or just for me to kind of get more involved with her quickly.
So how did you end up borrowing money from her?
I was struggling and there was something coming up where I needed extra money, and she brought it up quite quickly actually to say, oh well, I can help. She was supposed to be a friend, so I assumed, it's just to borrow off a friend. I paid her back and, I was struggling with money. Things with work were quite difficult with hours and everything. We were in the middle of COVID and she knew that. She'd suggested she could offer me this larger sum of money, but this time it would be interest. I probably knew I shouldn't, but I did, because at the end of the day I needed it, and it was as simple as that. It's business, and it's like, oh well, fair enough, she's trying to kind of make herself something as well here, and we're all struggling, but we're still friends. And it started quite small, and it'd go from like £100, and then it would end up actually being like double. You lend 100, you pay 200 back. You lend 50, it's 100 back. I remember it at one point equating to like £2,500 or something that, actually I had to pay back to this person. I guess I had to borrow more because I'd paid it back. My situation now was just going backwards, and the interest on top of that I was stressed over the repayments. I knew I had to pay them back because I'd seen what she'd done to other people if they didn't pay her back. She made it her business to know exactly what day's money went in my bank, so she would say, this money goes in on so-and-so date, so you can pay me back and you will pay me back. I could see it getting out of hand, but I thought, what other choice did I have? I hadn't want to actually go to anybody and admit that I was struggling, that I was ashamed. But when you're up against somebody like that, I think perhaps at some points I might have stuck up for myself, which obviously just aggravated her, and she didn't like that. I did start to get to the point where I was struggling to make payments, and there would start to be threats then. So I paid it back. I made sure that my children were fine, and I went without and just continued to pay until the point that I was so depressed. I just got to the point of wanting to just end everything. I was very suicidal and I didn't really know who to go to. There was threats on my life, there was threats on my home. I had windows put in. I would get messages off people bullying me because she'd sent them to my door. Even local youth in the area she kind of used as a campaign of like terror. And I didn't want to return to my house. I didn't want to go home. I would sit in my bedroom on a night and I would listen to things being shouted through my windows, shouted at me, like the doors being braided in, and sitting there just in fear, what is going to happen today? But I had nowhere else to go, so I had to go home. I wanted to try and make it as normal as I could for my kids. I didn't want my kids to think there was anything wrong. It got worse and worse. I thought, I can't do it anymore, I can't live here anymore. So we basically got as much as we could together, and I basically walked away and I left it all behind, and I had nothing. And the kids had nothing. We left and got put into temporary housing. To take your children just before Christmas to live in a temporary house where there was nothing, not even a dining table to have dinner on, or your own beds. It was soul destroying, to be totally honest. All because a friend said they could lend me like 50 quid one day. Ended up with me living in temporary housing at Christmas. I just felt like an absolute failure as a parent. Actually, I felt like a failure as a person, to be honest. It didn't just end when we left. They couldn't physically get me anymore. They didn't know where I was. And then I got made aware of some social media posts. This social media post actually travelled significantly quickly and quite far. None of the post was true, and had some absolutely disgusting things about me on, and shared a lot of information, including pictures, and people that didn't know what was going on because I didn't tell anybody what was going on soon found out. Despite all the horrible things that happened, and they were horrible, that was probably one of the worst things because I had the least control out of that.
So how did you find out about Stop Loan Sharks?
I actually just Googled. I knew there must be something out there specifically that would assist with whatever was happening, and I found the website. From that first phone call, I just suddenly felt like I could breathe for the first time, because I thought, there's somebody on the phone here that understands it. But do you know what it was? There was no judgment.
So how's life now? What's your situation at the moment?
So life now is completely different. I have a wonderful home now. I have a fantastic job now. This year I've actually been able to go and start shopping for Christmas, and we deserve to have a good Christmas, and we will. That person preyed on me because I was vulnerable. I was a victim. And when you look at the other victims, they were all really vulnerable as well. You know, the people that she targeted were very, very, very specific.
So someone out there who needs money at the moment, run up to Christmas, what's your advice to them?
Be honest with people around you, because people around you love you and they don't judge you. But there are other agencies out there, or even if you just go to the Citizens Advice and say, look, this is my financial position, can you help me? There's no shame and there's no embarrassment by asking for help, and don't allow someone like that to take advantage of you.
And what about someone who is in the grasp of a loan shark at the moment? What's your advice to them?
Somebody who is already in the middle of it with a loan shark, contact these people. They're out there and they're going to help you. Do it now before it gets any worse, because somebody is there and somebody will help you.
People who borrow from loan sharks like Michelle did often blame themselves, where the truth is the loan sharks are criminals who prey on people when they're at the most vulnerable. Here at Stop Loan Sharks, we never judge. Please, please come to us and ask us to help you. You can contact us via our hotline 0300 555 2222 or on live chat on our website Monday to Friday 9 to 5 at stoploansharks.co.uk.